Hey everyone, thanks for checking out my first cooking video. I actually had to change plans a little bit because I found this 10-pound box of a regular sliced bacon in the fresh case at our local discount grocer. The original plan was to make my smoked bacon jam in the first video, but this box is too large to put in the fridge, so I needed to break it down. I'm going to cryovac a couple of pounds for good old bacon and prepare the rest for the videos. I'll use about 4 to 5 pounds of the bacon for bacon jam and chop bacon bits, soups and salads and other recipes. And that leaves me with about 2 pounds that I thought I would try to turn into candied bacon. Bacon jam and candied bacon seem to be popping up on quick serve and fast food menus, and I thought I would show you how to make them for yourself and make them better than you can get in any of those places. And I would consider both of these luxury ingredients, but by buying the bacon in bulk, I can afford to make these recipes without having to skimp on something somewhere else. As a chef, I hope to bring you some of the techniques and cooking methods that we use in professional kitchens so that you can master them at home. Because it's literally something that I had to learn to do on my own as well. And I was a workaholic for many years, and working in a kitchen all day meant that I didn't have to pay attention to my home kitchen if I didn't want to. It's a common story for cooks and chefs. We're always at work, and that's where we eat. A chef's home refrigerator can look a lot like a dorm room fridge, and that's just frightening. So I struggled at first to cook for myself on a regular basis, and I wasted a lot of time and food until I learned better meal planning and prep. And things have gotten expensive, and I need to save money, and I'm pretty sure that you do too. So if I can help show you ways to save a little money while still eating good, that's what I want to try and do. So please stick around to the end of this video, and I've got 3 quick hacks on how to save a little bit of money when you're shopping. Thanks, everybody. Okay, back to the recipe. It's really easy and it only requires 6 ingredients. You're going to need sliced bacon, about a cup of brown sugar, about a tablespoon of salt, about a teaspoon of fresh ground pepper, about a tablespoon of ground cinnamon, and about a teaspoon to tablespoon, depending on your spice preference, of chipotle powder. I wouldn't use cayenne in that amount, but you know what I mean. You can adjust it to your spice. The real key to success with this recipe is using a baking rack and pan release spray. You don't want them to stick, and you need the rack to keep the bacon up off the surface so that it cooks evenly and gets crisp on all sides. It doesn't drown in its own fat while you're cooking it. But you want to make sure you line your cookie sheet with paper, then put your rack down, and then spray the whole surface before you layer your bacon on top. It may still stick just a little bit, but if you pull it off the tray while it's warm and layer it on more paper before you refrigerate it, it will be easier to handle that way. So again, when you're ready to remove it from the rack, do it while it's warm and have some parchment paper or some sort of non-absorbent paper, because they will be sticky until it's chilled. I also think that it only takes about 2 hours at 200 degrees to make this bacon as crispy as I did in this video. You can cook it longer, but don't raise the temperature to try and speed up the recipe. You want to stay in that 200 range because you don't want to burn the sugar. You can cook it for probably up to 4 hours if you wish to make it extra crispy. You can experiment on your own. Now, I tend to refrigerate this, but you don't have to. If you leave it in a sealed container, you could leave it at room temperature. I wouldn't try to keep it more than a week, and I'm not going to be responsible if you get sick. Disclaimer. When you're done and you want to wash your baking rack and your tray, again, the paper underneath will help clean up be a little easier, and you want to use hot water or your dishwasher, and it should clean up pretty easily on its own. So please, guys, enjoy the bacon candy and our first cooking video. Well, sort of. Okay, now those hacks that I was telling you about. First of all, you need to invest in a vacuum sealer or a cryovac machine. It just extends the food of the life by removing the oxygen, which stops decay. So best way to save money is don't let your food rot. Next is shop for your meat first thing in the morning. Get up early and go to the store when they open, because that's when they mark things down from the day before. Anything that's ground, they want to keep it looking fresh and beautiful. It doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It just means it's not as pretty as some of the others, if you can tolerate that. But get to know your butcher and I'll bet you can get some good deals. And then, of course, buy in bulk when appropriate, but use restraint. I'm pretty pretty well known for buying too much, so I have to be careful. But this 10-pound box of bacon was too much for me to pass up at $30. So that's how I justified the purchase. And I had these videos that I wanted to make. So by sharing that with you and then making sure I do use all of those ingredients, I do get to save some money. So those are 3 quick hacks, and I hope you use them and enjoy them. Thanks, and don't forget that our next video, which I'm filming right now, is the actual smoked bacon jam video. This is really one of my favorite recipes. It's made with Jack Daniel's whiskey, but we are not affiliated with Jack Daniel's or the makers of Jack Daniel's in any way.